My God. Fucking ratones eating my fucking money. Carlos, this is a stupid fucking problem to have. But it is a problem, nonetheless. Rat fuckers. Rat fuckers.
Ain't it funny how even the worst of heathens try to get righteous when they think the Lord is about to tap them on the shoulder?
Listen, Lester, if I wasn't so sick, I would give you one of these across your ugly lips.
Who you calling ugly, sucker?
I'm calling you ugly. I could stick your face in some dough and make some gorilla cookies.
Well, the Democrats' way of running this country is to go tell us all how we ought to make sacrifices. God, they're great on that stuff. But they're all gonna have us over the hill to the poorhouse. We ain't gonna be able to drive over there because we ain't got no gas, so we're gonna have to walk it.
Oh, the Reader's Digest says walking is very good for you.
Oh, ain't that lovely? The Reader's Digest can always put a little joy into poverty. Listen, my whole point is this whole thing with the energy and everything. This is all a conspiracy. Don't you know that? It's a conspiracy there. Listen, for years, all our lives, they've been telling us to go out and buy stuff that use energy. You know, all electrical stuff. They got electric toasters, electric ovens, electric stove, electric stereo, electric TV, electric race, electric hair blower, electric knives, electric every damn thing. Not to mention the cars. And now, after all the big corporations there make the billions and billions of dollars worth of profits, signals, wham, they're changed. And after telling us for years that we can't live without this junk, now they tell us that we gotta live without it. The country is going straight into the dumper.
Twitter user @WayneASchneider asked, which of you is more like Jesus? Trump, let's start with you.
I love the Bible. I've read the whole book. I love the Bible. Great book, incredible book. I love Corinthians. I love both of them. I think they're incredible. I love their leather. And I'll say this, I really do. I love it. And I'll say the Book of Job, incredible book. Incredible book. It's Jobs is in the Bible. Jobs is in the Bible. If our president wasn't reading the Quran, maybe he'd know that. But here's the point. Very important. Very important. Jesus, most boring part of the book. Are you kidding me? He's a very boring guy. They should have chopped him up into pieces. They should have chopped him up. Why did they crucify him? He came back like Voltron. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I would be a way better Jesus. Way better Jesus. Way better Jesus.
All right. I will, based on the audience reaction, points to Mr. Trump on that. Senator Sanders?
Look, I'm not like Jesus at all. There's nothing in common. I'm far older than Jesus ever was. I don't know, maybe he would have run for, Emperor Rome or something if he'd lived as long as I did. But let me say this. I am not particularly religious. However, I do have a Holy Spirit-like effect on Vermonters and Vermont-like people. Wherever two or more Birkenstocks are gathered, I am in their midst.
All right, points now to Senator Sanders.
Something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Rob.
Naked grandma!
Naked, huh?
I don't want to see that either.
I know you're right, okay? Nobody wants to see a naked grandma, but what are the chances of you breaking in the house and running up into your grandmama naked? Looking for the naked grandmama in the house, outside, in the woods, on the blanket.
Oh, you should be coming on pretty soon, dude. How much do you smoke?
This will be a little demonstration of that. Listen up. That was my skull. I'm so wasted.
right, kids, good morning and welcome to another exciting episode of the original Leather Pill Show. Today is Monday, February 17th, 2017. This show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Listen, class, I've said this a million times. Please use at your own risk. This show, copyrighted by moi. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form without my written consent. Finally, show is opinionated. It's why we do it. The host, especially co-host, people that are naughty in the chat room, shame on you, deserve a spanking. Guests, yada, 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 are and always will be opinionated under no circumstances whatsoever, I'm sure. Should opinions be taken as advice? If you're seeking professional advice, we strongly encourage you to hire a license if required person in his or her field there, little Tommy. Hey, man. No. That's his name. Time to wake up. Good morning to you, broadcasting live from the lovely little town of Loveland, Colorado. Yes. Where the weather was freaking crazy yesterday. 55, I think. I just love the weather here. 55 and sunny in February. Middle of February, which means, yay, there's only gonna be 2 more weeks of shitty weather. That's one. Start counting them. Oh my Lord. This is the Queen of England. Oh my God. We cannot have such profanity. Although I have somebody that wipes my butt for me when I poop. But that's perfectly okay. The Queen swore poop is a swear word for royalty. So that's 2. I think I better put a swear jar here somewhere. Actually, I broke mine over the weekend. I was opening. Holy fuck. No, there's no tequila in here. I was opening a Corona. See? Racist bastard. That's 3. And I accidentally kind of like jerked it to the side. Wait, that was later when I was in bed. Ooh, we were a good crowd. Wait a minute. The bottle. And I hit my glass gallon. Used to have cherry juice in it. When you go up to Estes Park, there's a cherry juice place on the left. And I bought a gallon of that stuff. And when it was empty, I said, this will make a good change thing. Like a piggy bank. And I opened up my Corona beer and accidentally hit this thing, and it just smashed into 1,000 pieces. I'm like, great. That's just great. Great way to start Friday night, whatever. But anyway, so how was your weekend? I worked. I went to church. I'm going to share that. Not that I went to church, but what happened. Check Google. I know, hang on a second. Don't rush me, man. I can't take this pressure. Like, really? Come on, man. It's that I didn't open it yet because I'm babbling. I'm trying to kill time, man. Don't push me, man. I'm watching. God, why can't I remember that show? That Marvel show. Defenders of the Tomorrow? Legends of Tomorrow. I did remember it. I do have a brain. Legends of Tomorrow. I'm really getting into that show, man. Really cool. Making you think. Makes me think. Anyway. No, it's not.
Google. You're confusing me. It's Gmail. What kind of IT person are you, Melissa? I can't find it. Is it on Google? It might. I know it's on Gmail, though. So hang on a second. Hang on a second. Tone it down. Relax. Woosa. Yeah, you called already. I see that. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Okay, it's open, it did. You can call anytime. Anytime, but at 3 times the charm. That's 2 times you called. Here we go. 3 times will be the charm. Always is. Always is. Go ahead. What'd I tell you? What did I tell you?
Of course. 3rd time, every day.
Is it built into the program here or something, or what?
I'm starting to wonder.
Well, the first time I wasn't. That's the only thing I didn't open. So it actually took twice, but still, 3 is 3. So it took 3 times. Whatever.
So how is Legends of Tomorrow? I need to start watching that one.
It's very boring and bad acting in the beginning, I'll be honest.
Okay.
It's subpar. It's not Marvel, okay? And you just if you're a sci-fi person, the first thing you're going to do, whether consciously or subconsciously or subliminally, you're going to go, this ain't Iron Man. This isn't Thor. This isn't Marvel. But you still try to get into it. And I'm going to tell you something. It about halfway through the first season, it grabs you.
Okay.
So
now I know to stay on until at least halfway.
Yeah, halfway. See, I love time travel crap like Doctor Who and all that.
Oh, I do too.
So when you mix time travel into sci-fi with superheroes, I mean, it's great. I'm like, whoa. But I never heard of it until Netflix. Never heard of it.
I have had that one on my list for quite a while. And I've tried to watch it a couple of times, and I guess, like you said, I just couldn't get into it.
No. Mm-mm.
And but it stays on my list because eventually I'm going to make myself watch it just because I need to watch it because I've watched everything regarding superheroes. So
yeah, if there's any character flaws in casting, it's the guy that's captain of the ship, the wave jumper or whatever the ship don't have a name, I don't think, but that's like the model of it. So it's a wave jumper time travel thing. But as the series goes on, his role playing and his role becomes self-evident, and you just got to give it time. But it's like, who picked this dude to be, the captain of the ship? He sucks. But down the road, it's okay. It gets better.
Well, I would definitely have to make myself sit through it then.
So I was, well, first of all, I changed a couple things, my intro, and then I put my T-shirt on my chair instead of looking at me the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So did you see that?
Yes, I did. I said nice shirt.
Yeah. So how did it look? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love seeing your shirt on there.
Well, I just I don't want to sit here twiddling my thumbs and looking at people. And I started watching other people's shows, and I really don't want to see them. Just, it's so weird just seeing people sitting there. And I want a prop.
Their interest.
Yeah. And I wanted a prop, and I'm like, wait a minute, something with the show on it. And I don't have anything. And I go, yes, I do. I have a T-shirt.
I need to get one.
Yeah, I'm telling you something. Not because we sell it. If it sucked, I would say. This is a nice shirt. No, it is. It's a nice shirt. It's not thin, this shirt will last years for sure. So I don't know about the graphics and the whatever's put on there as far as fading goes, but the material and the quality of the shirt is going to last for a while.
When you wash it inside out.
Ah. See, I'm not one of those persons.
That's how you.
Go ahead.
That's how you preserve all printed T-shirts. You wash them inside out. All of them, no matter who they come from.
So I'm not one of those people that when they take off their shirts or T-shirts, they put their elbows up and pull from the bottom, and then it's inside out anyway. I pull from the neck and straight up, and then straighten my arms out, and it comes off the way that it was on. So, but I'm going to have to remember. Oh, I've been doing that forever. And when I saw people take their shirt off like the first way and they put their elbows down and pull up from the bottom, I'm like, what a stupid way to take off a shirt. But who am I? Probably say I'm stupid the way I do it. So I never really thought about it. But I'm going to have to remember that when I wash it because I want it to last a while. I might get another one. I think a white one would stand out a little bit better.
Yes, it definitely looks a lot better on white because everything pops.
Right. So I did work this weekend, so I might be putting in another order for T-shirt. And then we'll have 2 sold. Yay, to me, but still, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we definitely do.
And then
I need to build up. I really need to build up our collection of shirts in there. I haven't had time to work on it.
Because you're sitting around again doing nothing.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just sit and twiddle my thumbs all day.
Yeah. Well, I have some stuff to share. And then the second thing I did, as far as the show goes different, I stumbled on that intro. I must have made that. Oh, I don't even know.
That was an awesome intro.
Well, I was looking for eclectic, classic, funny, but relatable to current times. And when I found that All in the Family thing from Archie Bunker and what he's saying, I'm like, oh my God. I got to put, regardless of your political whatever, I mean, you got to listen to that and go,
classic.
Oh my God.
Classic.
And then either,
Well, Reader's Digest says walking's good for you.
we're like, whoa, what a fucking dumb broad. I mean, that show is just, that show. I mean, oh my God. But when he said that, and nailed that, well, I'm like, wow. I say that all the time. And then when I strung all that together, I'm pretty much, you know what? This is pretty much the whole entire show. The existence of the whole show. From the beginning to the end with all those little things in it. I'm like, this is good. I like this. So.
Oh, yeah, that Sanford and Son at the beginning was just, that one got me really good.
Did it?
I was actually talking about Sanford and Son like a few days ago.
You know what?
I don't remember why.
That's the second time you've said something where I've done it and you thought about it. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
and not to me. It happens to me all the time.
So you're having like a premonition or a thought, and then I don't know. As weird as it sounds,
it happens.
Picking it up, and then I play it. Yeah, I do. It's quantum physics stuff. I do believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I do too. It's our when you have really strong energy, and you project something out there, it gets picked up somewhere somehow. It gets picked up.
So anyway, I don't. I think that's the show. Yeah, it does though. I'm not. But it's usually with people that are more closer to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes and no. Depends.
Well, for me, my family or whatever, there ain't much of them left. I'll share that too. But I would pick up vibes, and my wife at the time would pick up vibes from my son, who was halfway around the world when he was stationed in South Korea, which was weird. It was really, but that's a mother and a son, so I get that, you know. But but this is maybe, I don't know, could be coincidence. Who knows? I'm not arguing.
In my opinion, everybody has some level of what they call empathic ability. And it's we all feel the energy. It's just a matter of if we pay attention or not.
Now, I didn't know what an empath was till a friend said she was, and I go, "What's that?" And then I did some research.
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah, I am definitely." Oh,
you're an empath.
Yeah, I am definitely in that. I don't know, genre, range, classification, label, whatever you want to say. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can look at a picture. I can look at a picture, and it's like the person already talked to me. I can tell you their personality. I can tell some likes, dislikes. It's really weird. Not all the time. The people that I can't read, they scare me.
Yes. Yeah, if I can't read somebody, there's some kind of an issue there, and I pay attention.
Yep. So I thought for people that are out there and either love the show, don't know the show, hate the show, whatever, I thought that that intro was this is the show. So, joking. And if you really want to analyze it in today's perspective, I mean, Fred Sanford was an asshole, a racist, called people ugly, just a mean asshole, narcissist, whatever. And Archie Bunker, same thing, except now he's white. So you got two racists right there. If you want to think that way, or if you just want to think, oh my God, this is sarcasm and hilarious, and it's entertainment and funny, that's where you got to be coming from. So
Right.
yeah, but I shouldn't have to explain that, but apparently I do. And then I even threw the political thing in there. I thought that was funnier now. I just did.
That intro was great.
Yeah, I'm like, And I never used it before. And today I was actually looking for a different one. And that one played, and I go, oh, I forgot I did this one. Because sometimes when I'm bored, I want to kill time. You really want to kill time, string together some sound bites and sound program and editing program and make an intro, because you'll kill a couple hours easy. So.
Oh, yeah. They actually, you wouldn't think that they take that much time, but boy, they do.
Yes, they do. You got to cut them and clip them and chop them and edit them and slide them together, and the timing and then the levels. It's a pain in the ass, actually. But I do like doing the levels are the hardest, because all of them are at different levels, and it's like, whoa, somebody can barely hear, and then the other ones are too high, and it's like you try to. Anyway, it's all technical stuff nobody wants to hear, but you want to kill some time.
You realize that
What?
That's actually a really sellable skill there, dear.
Yeah, well, like I said, I came from Chicago and radio, and the best people doing stuff. Most of the radio personalities always had intros like that, and they were funnier than hell. I'm like, if I ever do anything, I'm going to have one. But they played the same one all the time, and it got kind of boring. So that's why I change it up.
Change them up.
Right. Yeah, I change them up, because you never know what, especially this show, you never know what's coming at you. So.
And even the intros don't always match the show.
Right, exactly. And then I want to grab your attention. I want to like, whoa, what's that? I may use the same intro song. I like Forever Still's Last Day. I love that song. I might use that. But as far as the intros and stuff, depending on my mood and what's going on and how much time I got, there might be more to come. There's none in the pipe right now, but there might be soon. So anyway, that's that. Where the hell is everybody? I went in here to say good morning, and nobody's there because I don't want to be rude, but nobody's there. So.
Pam's there.
Who? Oh, she must be in the
our
show.
Regular chat, although she may have gone back to bed, but.
Love that shirt. There's you. There she is. Who's Jiff from last night?
That would be Red Show.
Who's Jiff?
She's taking a hiatus while she's taking care of her son.
Oh, because that was the one that was in the accident, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's Journey into Freedom is Jeff.
Well, let's see here. All right, let me share my weekend, which wasn't much because I was on call, so I couldn't do anything. But what I did do is I went to church on Sunday, which I usually do. Not religiously, but I do it if I don't miss it, because I'm writing a book, and for some reason I'm getting up at 3, 4 in the morning, but I'm sleeping all night, and I'm not tired. And this happened yesterday morning, and I'm like, well, I'm not laying here. So I'm opposite of most people. Most people go to bed and their head's spinning and they're thinking, and anxiety pops in and blah blah blah. I don't have that. That's most people. I'm opposite. My mind is calm. I'll probably fall asleep with the TV on, and then I'll reach over and turn it off. I'm out, and I'm out sometimes in 5 minutes. But when I wake up, all of it comes running in, and I actually feel my mind shifting from whatever state that is, the sleeping or whatever, to waking up and then thinking and all that. It's really weird. And when I wake up, I mean, I'm up. And it's not like if I wake up in the middle of the night and I got to pee or just stir. It's not instantaneous, but when I'm up and I'm coming to consciousness or whatever you want to call it, I'm waking up, then that's it. All this shit comes flying in. So I'm backwards.
I usually fall asleep with the TV, and that's what helps to calm me, I guess, calm my brain, is focusing on the show. And granted, I don't usually last more than about 15, 20 minutes after I get off my computer, no matter if I'm in my chair or if I just go to bed or whatever. I don't last very long. But it does take having something to focus on in order to make my brain stop.
When you're in computer land, at least for me, it's like you're a zombie. You're like, I've had people talk to me, and it's like, hey, Dad, or hey, whatever, or trying to get my attention, and I'm like, it's like, did you hear what I said? Not really, because I'm trying to focus in the matrix here, in the computer land. I can't. It's one of the things you can't do, at least me, multitasking. You either got to be in computer land or you're in or you're out.
For me, it depends on what I'm working on, because obviously some stuff is a lot more intense than other things that I do. But my kids grew up with, they would start talking to me while I was on the computer. And I'd be listening at first, but then I'd kind of slowly zone. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, my kid's talking to me. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Right.
They grew up with that.
Yeah. Well, I've done it too, and there's something, it's like reading a book or taking a test or something that takes total 100% focus and concentration, and depending on what you're doing on the computer, that, you know, which is me a lot when I was on it running my business, it's like you can't bother me. I'm in my books. This is my this is my company. I can't be distracted. And then when you're out of that, it's like it really takes, because your mind's firing on all cylinders, and it's like you got to calm down. I'm surprised you can go to bed after you're doing that crap, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I get up at 5:30, and so by 7, 8 o'clock at night, I'm getting tired.
Sure, but trying to go to bed right after that, I mean, your mind's just firing. I don't know how you could.
Oh yeah.
How you could do that?
Well, like I said, I have to sit and watch TV.
Right. Yeah, to change the focus, I would think, and the thought process. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, because I've always kind of wondered why I do that.
See, I'll send you a bill. Do I have to pay my $45 this month? Here, I just charged you for psychoanalysis. Believe me, nobody thinks, there are people, nobody thinks more than I do about that crap. I am so self-analytical. That's why people judge me because of the naughty words. I don't want to get into it. It's like, you have no idea.
It's like
you have no idea.
That's the worst thing people find about you.
Yeah.
You're doing good.
Yeah, I know, but I can.
The only thing you can find to bitch at me about is my cussing. Then have a nice day.
You can, yeah, I'll take it all day long. So, but you have no idea. I always try to do the right thing, and the moral thing, and the ethical thing, and blah 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 blah, and just passing around a couple swear words does not define my character. You have no idea.
Not in the least.
Yeah. So, well, I have a few things to talk about. The XFL, which you probably don't care about. A lot of people don't. I'm not.
What's that?
Football. It's you have the NFL, which you know. Then you have the XFL.
Oh, is that the new branch?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it may not be new now, but I do remember hearing something about that.
I have to say, there's some changes in there. I'm not nuts about the commentators. One of the commentators good, but the guy that does color, they got one guy full of high energy, and then the other guy just comes on and goes, "Oh yeah, and he carried the football 5 yards." And it's like, really?
Oh.
It's like, you got to get rid of that color guy. Got to get rid of that color guy. Like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are great. They're great. high energy and they know what they're talking about. Well, Joe Buck says things that are obvious, which drives me bananas. But Troy Aikman, who does color with him, the sidekick, he's great. And he's a retired.
He was a football player.
I was just gonna say he's a retired Super Bowl All-Star quarterback off the Dallas Cowboys. So he's
that's why I know him.
Yeah, he doesn't take any shit because I'm slowly closing all my social media accounts for reasons that I'll just disclose later. I just talk about being in computer land and distracted. But I was following him on Instagram, I think. Or no, it was Twitter. Somebody said something about a football player, and it was a sportscaster or something, like a very judgmental statement. And Troy Aikman came back and just bitched him out like you would not believe. And I'm like, whoa. And I even said to Troy Aikman, I go, are you from Chicago? Because that's what somebody would say from Chicago. Chicagoans, you don't offend, and if you do, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it. So, and the same thing with Texans. So I hear. Well, you live there, you would know.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
They'll probably take a bullet for you, just like Chicago. There's plenty of them flying around. But if you piss them off or offend them, you're gonna hear about it.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, they're very similar in that way as far as culture, Chicago and I say Chicago, and then I say Texas because I'm pretty sure that's the whole state of Texas. That's really not everybody in Illinois. The further you get away from Chicago,
Texas is definitely all of Texas.
Right.
If you're from Texas, there's a certain attitude that you have.
Right.
You're very, very nice. You're very loving. You're very caring, but if you cross somebody, it's not a good thing. The memes are true.
Yeah.
When you hear a Southern person go, "Oh hell no," then you're in trouble.
Or a black person.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's Texas mentality, and like we were talking about, the reputation that black women have.
Right.
And
that's
the
right.
stereotypical black woman, and it is identical.
Yeah, and I like it. And being black is more than just a color. Because this is a funny story. I read Arnold Schwarzenegger's book until he got to the political part, and I didn't really want to read it because I'm so sick of politics. Anything with politics, I'm not interested. And he was filming, was it Conan? I think it was Conan, and Grace Jones was in that.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah,
and love Grace
so
Jones.
was Wilt Chamberlain, and they're both black. And Grace Jones and Wilt Chamberlain didn't get along, and they were arguing who was black or more black. And Arnold's listening to this.
Wow.
And it's like, wait, hang on. Wait, we don't want to fight here. I got news for you. I got news for you. You're all black. You're both black. And they just looked at him like, you don't get it. You don't get it. And see, I do, because I've had black friends since I was a teenager, multicultural.
Oh, yeah.
Black is not a color. It's an attitude. It's who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And they were both arguing who was more black. And of course, Arnold's like, well, you're both black. He didn't want to side. I mean, I'm sure one was darker than the other, but hell, I don't know. They're both pretty dark. I think Wilt Chamberlain would probably be darker if I had to guess, but that's what he thought they were talking. They were talking about.
Geez.
It's like, wow. I mean, some people have some black in them and they're white as a ghost. It all depends on how they were raised and where they were raised and the culture they were raised in. So
yeah.
So black is not a color,
definitely.
people. It's really not. It is, but it's not. It's more of a mindset or who you are.
Oh, definitely.
And that's pretty much,
just like being Southern. It's an attitude.
It's pretty much a tolerance of how much shit you're going to put up with. That's four swear words. I think that's pretty good, though. Well, the Queen doesn't count. The Queen, I heard that yesterday. And I'm like, really? The Queen has a hired servant to wipe her butt after she poops? Are you serious?
That's an old tradition.
I don't care what it is.
It's gross.
You got somebody of power and position and doing the right thing and not supposed to look down on people, and you got someone wiping your ass? Are you serious? Tell me how
Can
these...
you imagine being hired for that job?
I'm not even thinking from that.
Talk about a shit
I
job.
couldn't. Yeah, no pun. Oh, you're going to take over the show. All right, here, go ahead. You're the comedian now. That was pretty good, actually. It's like
the Queen's butt.
a queen isn't supposed to discriminate or person of power, but, until it's time to poop and someone needs to wipe your butt. Give me a break. Really? Come on. It's bad enough they want you to kiss their ass. Now you got to wipe it for them? Ugh.
Well, I'm sure you'd want it wiped before you kissed it.
I don't want neither. Thank you. Everybody's equal. Oh, my God, I love all of you. Will you please wipe my butt for me? Now kiss it. Whatever. By the way, taxes are going up because my prince is being married again. Shit drives me nuts. Uh-oh, that's fine. Well, if the Queen can swear, I can swear. So, yeah, but back to the XFL. The XFL, there's some really good ideas because a lot of people in the NFL are getting hurt on kickoffs. So the NFL... Kickoffs. And here's why. And I really didn't realize it until I did my homework yesterday on YouTube. Because they go, the kickoffs are different than the NFL. And I'm like, well, how so? The NFL changed the kickoff rule where the ball used to be kicked from like the 30-yard line by the kicker. And any NFL kicker could almost and sometimes kick it to the end zone, which would mean it'd be a touchback and there'd be no run back with the ball, and the ball will get at the 20. Okay. So then the NFL said there's too many people getting hurt because the defense and then some of the offense are running at high speed at each other and they're colliding, and that's when people are getting hurt. Makes sense.
Isn't that part of the game?
Okay. Yeah, it is. But they're trying to stop people from getting hurt. So this is how the NFL adjusted it. Instead of the kicker kicking from the 25 or 30, they moved it up to the 35 or 40. So every single time the ball's in the end zone. I know. And people are pissed about it because you're taking away the action. And a lot of things happen on a kickoff return, like a touchdown. Duh.
Yeah. So
they took it away, and people are pissed about it. Whatever. So what the XFL does is they when the kickoff happens in the NFL, all of your line people... I played football for 8 years when I was a kid, and actually I was a kicker on top of other things. But when you kick the ball... What the hell is that noise? Sorry. When you kick the ball, your guys have to stay behind you, which are the other 10 players, and they can't go past the ball until you kick it or it'll be offsides and a penalty. So anyway... The XFL said, no, screw that. All the guys on the kickoff team, on special teams, I think they line up. See, no, I don't know. But I think they line up at the opposer's 40-yard line, and then the offense lines up across from each other at the 35-yard line, I think. Don't quote me on this. But they're already facing each other way down deep by the play when the guy catches the ball, and they're lined up across each other, and then they start blocking and this and that and trying to tackle the guy. So nobody's running full speed at 10, 15 miles an hour, whatever an NFL player can run, and knocking the shit out of people and getting hurt, which was great because when these people come running down there and the other people are standing targets, yeah, it's like standing in front of a car. You're going to get hurt. But if you're across from each other, when you're across from each other, and you can't block or try to tackle somebody until the receiver catches the ball, then everybody's in play, then everybody's much safer because the result's going to be the same anyway. It's just not everybody's running full speed. And I'm like, that's really cool. That was smart. Just type
don't
XFL
know if I
kickoff on YouTube, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll have to see it.
Yeah.
Because the way you're explaining it to me, it like, because I used to be into football. I mean, I grew up in Texas, so I was into football.
Well, here, put it this.
But
Go ahead.
that just sounds like it takes away quite a bit from that initial play.
Nope, it doesn't take away anything. Just envision this: NFL kickoff. The kickoff, the ball goes down and the guy catches it. Okay, now the second the guy catches it, and before when the kicker kicked the ball, his whole team is running down the field full speed. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you get that?
Yeah, you've
Okay.
only got one side that's running full speed versus
Right.
the other one that's not.
But I'm
yeah, I get it.
I'm explaining the timing. So when the receiver catches the ball and the kickoff team reaches to the point from the receiving team and there's contact, when the guy that catches the ball deep in close to the end zone or within the 10-yard line or thereabouts, freeze that picture right there, and then you just look at where the kickoff team's position is and the receiving team blocker position is. That's pretty much where in the XFL, that's where the kickoff team is lined up, and that's where the receiving team is lined up. So take that snapshot. That's where they're lined up already without the high-speed running.
Right.
So it's like, except they're stationary. So there's no energy there to label the shit out of somebody and get hurt. You're a sitting duck. So, especially if
and like I get it. It just, I don't know. I mean, football's football.
but it doesn't change the dynamics of
they-
anything. It doesn't really. Not at all. It's going to save a lot of.
I guess it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely going to save a lot of lives, and a lot of brains.
And knees, because if you come flying at a guy at full speed and take his knees out, he's done.
Oh yeah.
He's done.
Oh yeah.
So it made perfect sense. So that was the XFL, and I watched some of that, but I had to go to work, so I couldn't watch. Dallas and L.A. were playing. I don't know the names of the teams, but they're stupid names. But in any case, it's definitely worth watching. I mean, when they came out with the XFL years ago, that had to be 25, 30 years ago. It failed miserably. But I think there's a chance in hell that it'll get some traction. And if it don't, some of these new rules that they put into the XFL, they're going to put into the NFL. And I think the kickoff one will be one of them.
It would be interesting. I mean, I know they've done a lot of things to improve the safety.
Yep.
It still always cracks me up that they made cups before they made helmets, though.
Well, you know what they were thinking about. That's all I can tell you.
It's every time I think about football and safety, that's what pops in my head.
Yeah, it's just a typical guy. I don't need to protect my head. I need to protect my balls. Makes perfect sense. Okay, how come I can't put... Oh, there it is. Because I got... So who's in the chat room? Nobody. What is going on here? I'm going on strike. What the
There's
hell?
somebody watching.
Oh, is there? How can you tell?
Yeah, I can see
3.
there's somebody because it says how many are watching right
There's
now.
3 watching. Okay, well, hi, 3 people. If this shit don't stop, there's a
4.
swear word.
We got another one.
If this does not improve, I'm going on strike. That's it. I've had tired, and I'm going to do that Zoom thing anyway. So hopefully, will that help or no?
I don't know.
Well, does it expose more people or no?
Well, okay. What are you talking about doing?
Zoom, the Zoom thing.
Oh, Zoom. It doesn't necessarily attract more people, but we have a whole lot more function. We'll be able to do screen shares, like if you find something cool on the internet that you want to show, you can actually show it versus just talking about it.
Okay. Well,
And
we'll see.
obviously the dual, we can have more than one cam, and we have a permanent call-in number, which
That'll
they
work.
actually tried out the other night on Emergency Management Associates, and it worked great.
Well, that'll be worth it right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing, how much time we got here? Yeah, I won't get into
About 13 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so Sunday I went to church, and this guy was a speaker and giving a message. And his name was Vance Johnson. Do you know who that is?
Not a clue.
He's a former Denver Bronco receiver, and he's part of the Three Amigos, I guess. I don't know. I'm from Chicago, so it's all new to me. So this guy was raised by an asshole father, drugs, drinking, beat his mom, his wife. His kid went to college in Arizona, was running a 4.440, was in track, actually beat Carl Lewis, the Olympian, in the long jump.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Came a receiver in the John Elway era, went to a couple Super Bowls, was a really great player, and just literally destroyed his life with drugs.
Oh, man. I hate hearing those.
Divorced 7 times. He shared all this stuff, so I'm sharing his story. He shared it.
Yeah.
It's nothing, private or anything. He's going around trying to help people in this situation. He was so messed up, and his decision-making ability was horrible. When you're on drugs and alcohol, it's just, you can't think. And his son, his grandfather, I think, passed away, and they lived up by Grand Junction. And his son wanted to attend the funeral, and he said, "Dad, can I borrow the car?" Because the weather was bad. And he said no, so his son rode his motorcycle to the funeral, and he ended up never making it because he got killed.
Oh, wow.
So the guy has that on his guilt conscience, and after that happened, and he's been married and divorced 7 times and countless kids, and just disregarded all of them. Real asshole, just really. Yeah, but that's a chemically dependent person. It's an addicted person.
Well, yeah.
So he didn't want to live anymore. He lost the will to live, and they threw him in the hospital, and he was on a respirator, and he was in a coma for like a month. And they I think his sister made the decision to pull the plug on him. And they did. And by the grace of God or whatever, he snapped out of it. He didn't die.
That wasn't his time. He still had stuff to do.
Well, listen to this. And then he woke up and he goes, "Oh, what's going on?" to the people and the nurse or whatever in the room. I think it was the nurse. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I was walking upstairs the level above us, and I went to this, and I saw that, and then where's the people that came and visited me, like one of his ex-wives and his sister?" And the nurse just looked at him and goes, "You've been in a coma for 30 days, and what you're describing happened, but how could that be possible when you've been late?"
Just because somebody's in a coma doesn't mean they don't have their senses about them.
But he went up to the next level floor of the hospital.
Oh. Now
Yeah.
that's weird.
That's what he said. So he finally decided that there is a spiritual person or spiritual entity or whatever in a physical body. They're two of the same. So then after he had that spiritual awakening, he just decided to dedicate his life to God and helping people with this. And he's opened up a chemical treatment, drug rehab treatment place in Vegas. And
Nice.
yeah, and
The place for it too.
yeah. And he was selling his books after the service, and I stood in line, and people were giving his autograph, and I just shook his hand and said thank you. I didn't want his autograph, and if I buy his book, I'll buy it some other time. I'm reading enough as it is. But I just told him thank you. But the poor guy can't forgive himself about a lot of things, let alone he said on stage, "I killed my own son." And I'm like, there is some truth to that, but he did decide to get on the motorcycle and drive. So it's really not all his fault, because I've missed my grandma, my mom's mom funeral. I couldn't attend, and I could have, but I chose not to. If it was somebody and the weather was bad and it would risk my life, I can't make it. It's not really all his fault, but the guy is just ridden with guilt. I can read people. We go back to the empath thing. This guy is just so emotionally scarred, because it came out when he was saying, and when I looked at him and I looked him in the eyes and shook his hand, I almost said to him, you need to forgive yourself. But I didn't want him getting emotional because he had hundreds of people. I was like the 20th in line, so he had people behind me. And
well,
the guy is
I wish
just...
you had, though.
I thought about it, but I didn't. I did tweet him, though, after that, and I said that to him. So...
I wonder how hard it would be to get him as a guest.
Yeah, I don't know. Vance Johnson. I'm sure he would be open to it, because he made it perfectly clear. My mission or my goal or whatever it is to help people and send a message that there is hope. You know, I don't know exactly what he said, but he wants to help people. And he wants to share it, and he wants to get it out there, and he's going to churches, and he's going on shows, and he's preaching the gospel of helping people to break that habit. So it would be great to have him on.
I'm going to see what I can do about that.
Well, that'd be great, because I don't know if he'd remember you or not, but I just shook his hand and said thank you. I didn't want nothing from him. So,
yeah.
So I don't know. Everybody else did, and they wanted to share their story and all this, because the pastor warned. He's like, don't tell Vance your life story. We don't have the time for it, and he doesn't want to hear it right now. And it was my pastor's way out there. He is just so quirky, and he'll insult the congregation. I mean, he's just a great guy. It's Carl from Foundations Church here in Loveland. Great pastor. Very real, very sarcastic, smart-ass, insulting, kind of like the show, actually, again.
I like pastors like that.
Oh, very real. Very real. But yeah, it was a really good message, and I would like to have him on, because I can relate to him, because I didn't, from his perspective, I didn't kill anybody. That's not how I look at it. That's how he looks at it. I didn't kill anybody, but I went through that stuff in my 20s, and I destroyed myself. And I know how that is. And I had 5-6 years of sobriety. He's on 6 years. But chemical dependency is more to me than just that. It's the environment that you're in. And when you don't know any better, like my dad, who was an alcoholic and has over 30 years of sobriety now, God bless him. But when you're a kid and you're in that and you're going through that and you see that, that's normal to you.
Yeah, it is. I was one of the lucky ones that I didn't ever go down that particular road, but I used other things.
Oh, well, you use chemicals or chemicals. I don't care what it is. You use them. It doesn't matter.
Even if they're in your brain, they're still chemicals.
Right. So whether they're legal, illegal, prescribed, not prescribed, heroin, God forbid, pot, coke, alcohol, whatever. It's more what's socially accepted and legal. And then, of course, again, what you were raised in your environment, and you just don't know any better, because how could you?
Right.
So this guy, it's amazing that he made it and he's alive for more reasons than one. But to break that habit, it's called a hypnotic rhythm. And people have to read this book, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It is just such an awesome book for you to break those type of habits, and how people want you around them because you're their support system. So they sometimes will treat you like shit. There's a swear word again. Sorry. Or whatever, or make you feel bad and use mental warfare on you to keep you in there, which is a hypnotic rhythm, which is no more than like a whirlpool or a washing machine spinning, and you're in there and you're stuck. As long as that sucker's spinning and you're not moving physically, and that's moving, you're stuck. You're not getting out of that. And the hardest thing to do is to break free of that.
That was a really good analogy, actually.
Well, I read this book. I read that book when I came here. It was recommended to me. I was going to the gym at the time, Loveland Fitness or Loveland Athletic Club. And the owner's wife, very pretty girl. Not that I should say that, but she is. And she, very charismatic. What's the word? Charismatic?
Charismatic.
Yeah. Sorry. It's early. And God-centered, and we're talking. And her dad works there, and he's a great guy. And she goes, Tim, have you ever read the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill? And I've heard of Napoleon Hill, and I just always related that to a business book. And I'm like, I don't want to read any more business books. I'm sick of it. I've read 1 million of them. But this is more of a spiritual mindset thing, like Think and Grow Rich, which I've read since I've been here too. Great book.
Yeah.
But this one's Outwitting the Devil. And I'm like, that sounds stupid. And anything that has the devil in it, I don't want nothing to do with it. Sounds evil to me. What a great book. What a great book. And it was actually written in the 40s, and it was banned until about 10 years ago because it focuses on the church and the whole 9 yards. And what he was saying, or actually what the devil was saying, which is up to you to believe or not as a reader, if he's actually interviewing the devil. But the devil has to tell the truth. He has to answer these questions about anything and everything, and he does. And the inside of it is just amazing, all the way down to the churches. And it puts the churches in a bad light, and that's what they were worried about, because they didn't want the churches getting pissed at Napoleon Hill and the family and everything, so they archived it.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, I know. But nonetheless,
He was such an amazing writer.
Nonetheless, it's an amazing book, and the first part of it's kind of dry and boring because he sounds a lot like me. He probably sounds a lot like everybody, but they just won't be honest and admit it, that they're in their job. They were doing great, but they just weren't happy, so he got rid of all that, and then he got into depression and this and that, and he wanted to know why he was like that. And it's also a book about interviewing people that have been successful, like Henry Ford, Carnegie, all that. But Carnegie said to Napoleon Hill in the interview, he says, if you want to know what makes people tick and makes them successful, interview the ones that have been successful, failed, and are successful again, because you learn way more from failure than success.
All failure is a learning experience.
That's right. So he did that, and the stuff that came out, and he focused more on why people fail more than why they succeed, and then that's where the part where the interview with the devil comes in. So everything that he learned, he turned it into an interview with the devil, and it's just fascinating. Fascinating.
That's cool.
Yeah. So definitely a must-read. Definitely one of the top books. It's between that and Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and It's Okay That You're Not Okay, and just all these, Arnold's book. I mean, there's so many firsts, close, and seconds. It's crazy. It all depends on what you're talking about, because although they all apply to all people for the most part, there's just certain sectors that you're working on as challenges to yourself. And in that book, if you're just knocked down and you're giving up, or you're caught up in a situation that you don't want to be in and you can't break free, that book, Outwitting the Devil, is the book for you. So read it.
I plan to.
Another one for you.
Yeah, Napoleon Hill has always been one of my favorites. I haven't read that one yet, though.
I got here and I was just heartbroken and depressed and anxiety and smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And my gym told me to read that book, and it literally woke me up and snapped me out of that stuff. It really did. Started to. It was a catalyst. It didn't, I'm all better now, I read the book. But it changed my mindset. It changed my mindset, for sure. Saved my life, I would say. Not that I was suicidal or whatever, but I didn't want to be depressed and full of anxiety the rest of my life, so it saved me in that sense. But yeah, that book really made a huge difference in my life.
It's amazing how books can do that to us.
We need to read more of them because they're so underestimated, and the books that we do read is required study when we're in school, and they're all pretty much a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. But when you read something that you want to read because you want to read it, it's a whole different story.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
It definitely holds your attention more.
Yep. But I highly, highly recommend it on top of more books. So, all right. Well, it's 7 o'clock. I have to get to Boulder. And thanks to nobody for in the chat room. And 4 people watching. Thanks. You don't know what you're missing, or maybe you do. I have no idea.
Well, like I said, our numbers go up all day long, so.
Not according to the YouTube thing. 39 views. I'm not happy with that.
And we do have a couple of people on Facebook, too.
Watching?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to insult them. What's wrong with you people? Facebook? He said something on that, too, and then I'll end the show, Vance Johnson. Because, man, did it hit me like a ton of bricks. And my ex-girlfriend, or excuse me, roommate that before I moved here and I was living with. This is what Vance Johnson said. He said, you know, you people need to live your life. We need to live our life through God and doing good things. And social media is no exception. And he goes, if you're one of those people that the first thing you do, and I will admit, and I'm raising my hand, I swear I have done this in the past, the first thing you do is you grab your phone and you check out social media. Because he said, that's how you're starting your day. You're looking at other people's lives and how they're doing, and that's the work of the devil. He won. And I'm like, oh, my God. My roommate, in parentheses or quotations, first thing she would do is grab her phone and look at that. And I'm like, wow. Since I've been living alone and I do that, I got in the habit of that too. I've slowly...
Really?
Yes, I have slowly removed myself off of all of my social media.
See, I would love to just cancel all my social media.
You can't, though.
But I can't. Yeah, the first thing I do is, pop on social media for me, it's for work. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Right. Right. So, but I mean, Facebook is great. It's just that everybody puts them. It's the digital them. What do you call those things? Like The Sims or, it's your digital self. It's you on the internet, like in a game or whatever. Avatar is what I'm trying to say. It's you.
Oh, yeah.
That's your avatar, and you're in Facebook. And then people start transferring all their psyche and their this and their opinions and beliefs, and it's like, I would love to get to know you in person in front of you by talking face to face, but I don't want you dragging me down with all this crap right off the bat, right when I'm rolling out of bed. And I've been guilty of that too. I've been guilty of reading it, and I've been guilty of posting it. So I'm not special here or pointing fingers or judging anybody. I've done it too. And I refuse to be a part of that anymore.
Oh, I definitely get sucked down the rabbit hole sometimes.
Exactly. And I do. And especially being an empath again, I'm like, oh my God, this person's breaking my heart. And it would be inhumane for me not to respond because I'm not that callous.
Right.
I have empathy and sympathy and mercy. I was tested for it in my church. And they're like, oh my God, we've never seen anybody with all 3 of those characters. I'm like, really? I go, it's a church. Really? These people don't have mercy?
No,
I go,
they don't.
I know they don't. And they told me that. There is compassion, empathy, sympathy, and mercy. But the people that were even running the church or gave the test said, well, I didn't test for that. And I'm just looking at them like, out of all of these things,
being a pastor.
Well, I know I don't want to get that far into it, but I'm like, if any of these things, you should have mercy. Out of any of these, mercy.
You would think. You would
they
think.
don't.
And I mean, that's one of the primary teachings
Yeah.
of most religions is, mercy and compassion for others.
Because go ahead.
So few actually have it.
I tested very high for the leadership abilities. Not that I want to be a preacher or anything, but it's just like, you really have a lot of potential to be leadership here. And I'm like, well, yeah, but none of you fuckers got mercy. So, I mean, why would I do that? And I'm getting tired of trying to save people too. That's why I want to do the Janie's Fund. And I was sitting on an off ramp, and I don't do this a lot, hardly ever, maybe twice since I moved here, because there's so many homeless out. But this woman was standing on an off ramp at a red light, like all of them do. She had a dog, but I just got a good vibe off of her, and the dog got me too. And I've seen this before though. But she got me for some reason, the vibes I was picking up. So I gave her a 20, and I go, oh, man, I love the dog. Oh, yeah, this is Buddy something. I've had him for 10 years and this and that. And I don't really think she was scamming me. But somebody that could have a pet and be homeless shows a level of commitment to me. And I said, well, get something for the dog, will you? And she said she will, and she said thank you. But she was great. She was all jovial, and she wasn't on drugs, or if she was on a very good stimulant, and she should have shared them with me. But no, I did that because I felt bad, and I felt compelled to do it, and I did. And I'm glad.
Oh, I do that regularly. Which, I mean, I've been homeless, and I did it. And a lot of people don't end up homeless out of their own volition. Especially here in Colorado. And,
right.
A lot of times those animals are the only thing keeping them from putting themselves 6 feet under.
It happened to me almost when I had to put my bull mastiff down. The only thing I got out of the divorce, she had cancer, and I had to put her down, and it literally damn near killed me. It really did.
Oh, yeah. I can't even imagine where I would be mentally if I lost any of my critters.
Right. But besides this show, so just so you know, this swearing asshole that is a dick or whatever you think I am, you're so far off the mark I can't even tell you. But I have empathy, sympathy, I have compassion, I have mercy. And what I'm really trying to do, whether you want to see it or not, is help you help yourself. And if I can't be successful doing that, then maybe it's just not the right time, or people aren't going to get it. And that's fine. But there are people that do want help that I can give, and they're more receptive to it, which would be Janie's Fund, homeless people, chemically addicted people. I may focus more on that. I'd love to get, like you said, Vance Johnson on here, have him share his story and share that, because you're not going to hear that unless, God forbid, you have your own chemical dependency challenges, and you'll hear that around the AA tables or CA tables or NA tables. You'll hear countless stories like that every time you go, which you should go 90 days in a row when you're first trying to get sober. But you'll hear it countless times. But people that have never been down that road need to hear this, because they probably know somebody that does need help, whether you need it or not. But and it might be a spiritual awakening for you too. I don't know. But that's my objective, to help you help yourself, whatever that is. But if it don't happen, and I can't do it with sarcasm and thinking, good morning, Pamela, it's about time you came in here. I'm kidding. Show's over, man. Lights out. Good night. That's where the show is. And if people would listen to it instead of focusing on the negativity or the reason not to, you're really doing yourself a disfavor. But that's it. But we'll see where this goes. It's not really about the numbers per se. But, man, when I was doing my podcast, I had at least 100 people downloading it a day. And
well, why did you quit your Facebook? That's where you had most of your people.
I don't want Facebook traction or attention.
And those numbers will build up.
And quite honestly, if people won't transfer over to here, which I said constantly, on there. Okay, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing this. We need you to go to Freedom Revolution Network. Watch it there. Do it there. I said it more than once.
Honey.
What? What?
They don't pay attention to it. We're still dealing with, we started telling people back in November that Ron was going to be moving off of his YouTube channel. And they are still coming. They finally find us again. And it's like, where have you been? You haven't put anything up in 2 weeks. Yeah, we warned you for like 3 months.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe I'll start putting my name in the Spreaker keyword thing or something for searches. I don't know, because I'm just using Freedom Revolution Network and Red Pill Show or whatever. I can only put 5 in there. Maybe I'll put my name in there.
I need to update that anyway. So
okay, maybe I will
go in there today and do that.
But I look at it this way: if they're not going to come over here from Facebook, then they really weren't loyal listeners. So it's so early. Hello, Nadine. No kidding. At least you don't have to pay for the show. I do. You got $45 I can borrow?
Which, if you like our show and you would like to support us, there are links everywhere to our donate page, and all you do is specify the original Red Pill Show or Tim, and that way Tim gets that donation.
Yep. So there you go. I'm just more concerned.
And part of it goes to James Fund.
Yeah, which I'm thinking about kicking that, of course, with your agreement and permission, kicking that percentage up because.
I don't care.
I'm thinking about when I'm done with my.
I support that.
I think when I'm done with my book, I'm seriously considering giving everything to them, because I don't want to perceive as I'm trying to make money off of that.
Yeah.
I want it to be, because I'm self-supporting. I don't care about any of that. I'm not trying to get rich, and I've had money. Right. So it's like, it's not about the money, but then if I charge for the book, they're going to go, well, you wrote this to make money. But if I give everything to Janie's fund, it's like, you did this to make money. Oh, really? Well, yeah, you're right, but not for me. So.
Yeah. To help people.
Right. So that would send a good message too. So I'm toying with that idea because the book's going to be crazy. Nobody's going to believe it. That's another reason. And then they're going to interpret it where I'm just trying to throw people under the bus, and that's another reason. So, yeah, so it's like there's really not all these good reasons to profit from this book.
Well, I think it's a good idea.
Or this show, for that matter.
I mean, obviously, Jamie's Fund is something I definitely support.
How can you not? It's like,
if you're an asshole.
Right, well, exactly. Or you're a human trafficker yourself. So,
yeah, there you go.
That's about it. I mean, who would not support that cause? So some of the others are questionable, or the money gets to them and they're scams or whatever. I'm not saying they are, but some of them are questionable, but this one's black and white to me. So
yeah, me too.
So I don't know. I mean, like I said, even doing the show, all proceeds could go to Janie's fund. All proceeds from the book when I finally get it done, which is going to be a timing issue because I got to be at a certain point where if it does come back at me, I can handle it. But whatever. So not about the money.
And when you get it done, we'll make you a special page for it.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. So, and actually, I don't think I'd even sell it. I'd do the honor system, read the book, and give what you want. And there you go. I don't know how you could put
I have a platform for that.
Well, that's what I would like to do. I would like market to dictate the price, not me. So,
yeah.
Read the book.
Yeah, we can do that. I have a name your price type of platform.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, because it seems the feelings of guilt are more powerful than telling somebody what they should pay. So I don't want somebody to read it and really like it and go, geez, this was worth $20 or $10 or whatever, $100, or they read it and go, gee, there's a big waste of time. I ain't paying anything for it. Well, that's something you have to live for. But I don't want to take someone's money and they don't get anything out of it. But again, that's up to them. So,
yeah.
Just like this show. Whatever you get out of it, that's great. If you don't get nothing, then you don't get nothing. But I don't. You're not
Hopefully
getting it.
you at least get a great start to your day and put you in a good mood.
Well, I try, and I don't know. Like I said, there's no script. This is just all based on my life and what I did over the weekend and what I shared my entire life. And you share some things too, which is great. And it should resonate with some people. But a lot of people haven't been through a lot of stuff, and they start talking about it. There's just really no interest in it. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. But I did resonate with a lot of people off of Podbean. There's a lot of people in Spreaker that really said some things and downloaded the show. But I figured this would be a better format after talking to your partner. So, but I got patience. We'll see. So.
Yeah, it's all building up. Our traffic is way higher than it should be for 3 months old. So that's definitely a plus.
Well, it's great. Yeah, I think I used Google Analytics. I used something, and yeah, there was people in Russia, in Australia, in Iran, in the Middle East, and in Africa, and I'm like, holy shit, man. And I almost had the whole country map filled up. It was about 70-80% filled. For some reason, people in the West, California was one of my biggest, believe it or not, states that listen to this. I'm like, I never would have guessed that in a million years. No, I wouldn't. But the further west you went, the more spotty it became. But anything east of the Mississippi, Wisconsin, Michigan, South Carolina, Florida, all the little colonial states, New Hampshire, New York, it was crazy. Yeah, and then, like I said, around the world. Crazy. Yeah. Not really anybody in Asia. I think there was some people in Japan, but I think they were probably military. So, because Okinawa and things like that. So I'm like, yeah,
because we definitely don't speak Japanese.
No. Although
of course,
I'd like to.
The U.S. is also one of the few countries that people only speak one language.
Right. It's true. Yeah, but I love the Japanese language. I think it's beautiful. It's a lot better than South Korean and some of those other Asian, Vietnamese. It's like, oh. But yeah, Japanese is beautiful. I think it's a beautiful language. So anyway, so that's it. That's enough of that. I killed another 20 minutes that I shouldn't have. So I really have to go and get to Boulder. So.
Okie dokie.
Okay?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, I will talk to you in the morning. No, I won't. Tomorrow's your show. Tuesday, I got to work. It's the Melissa show.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make sure I got somebody on there with me.
Oh, come on. Just wing it.
Just wing it. I will attempt it.
Just do it. Do it now. Just do it. You never know what's going to happen. People call in, like I said, man. That helps, if they will. Hell, I can't even get them in the chat room, so I don't know how they're going to talk on the phone, but it's interesting. It would be an experiment. Do it.
Which I'm hoping that my daughter will actually join me tomorrow morning.
Well, there you go. There you go. See how easy this is. And then you'll get yelled at.
Melissa swears too much. She's a bitch.
Whoa.
There are definitely some people in other chats that think that of me.
Who cares? So what?
Not me.
If you don't, I think Winston Churchill said something like, "If you don't have any enemies, then you're doing something wrong." So, I think that's very true. Yeah. So there you go. So, okay. Well, have a great day. Good luck, and you never know. I might pop in tomorrow. See what it.
Hey.
But not call. Listen. I'm gonna listen. And don't be late.
You'll listen, but you won't call. I see how you are.
No, I got to work. I got to pay. I got to make the donuts. So, yeah, I'll pop in and listen and see how things are going. And don't be late or you're fired.
That alarm goes off at 5:30 every morning now.
Nice. Yeah, I got 3 phones that do it. So my excuse for not getting up should not exist. So.
Yeah, I have 2, just in case one decides. Because my phone likes to just not make noise sometimes.
Right. Okay. All right, well, have a good day, and I'll be popping in tomorrow. I hope I hear you.
Yep.
All right.
And everybody have a great day.
All right, thanks, and listen for listening to the show, Nadine, Pamela, and whoever else was in here, and these people that are watching and not saying anything. Thank you very much. Share the show, and you never know, you just might learn something. So, see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. You have been listening to the original Red Pill Show. Bye.